Hello everyone, back doing a deck tech. And this one is for Pioneer.
Cats.
And it is cats, yes indeed.
It's kitties.
Sort of kitties.
It's a cat. It's
Yeah.
kitty cat. You meow 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 and you meow meow meow.
It's also a dinosaur.
It's a kitty cat, and you meow meow meow, and you meow meow meow.
Ooh. Yeah, so clearly a cat deck. So we're gonna start here with a Banehound, which is a dog, nightmare dog.
It's a nightmare dog.
So it's a 1-mana 1/1 with lifelink and haste. And yeah, it's a dog, but it thinks it's a cat. It really has a bit of an identity crisis.
It's like when you see those animals that were raised with other animals and they behave weird.
Yeah.
Like the guys remember seeing the cat or the clip of the cat that lived with the horses, so it like walks like a horse. It's always cute.
I love when weird animals are raised to be almost human. Like when people have a pet bear that just like eats at the table and
right.
just asks to pass some juice or whatever. But anyway,
He's one of those weird,
Yeah.
He's raised by a cat, so he thinks he's a cat, but he's a dog.
It's close enough. They both have ears. They both have legs and stuff. So all good. Anyway, then our second 1-drop. Also, I guess I never actually mentioned this is a Mutate cat deck.
Yes.
Yeah. So then, second 1-drop here, we have another thing that's not a cat. It's an egg. But Mysterious Egg. It's a 0/2 that gets a +1/+1 counter whenever it gets mutated onto. So then we got our first mutate creature. This 2-mana Regal Leosaur mutates for 3. And whenever it mutates, other creatures get +2/+1.
And it is, of course, a cat.
Yes, and a dinosaur.
And a dinosaur.
Dinosaur cats. Yeah, so pretty good. And one of the ones that you might not necessarily want to mutate, like if you just don't really have a ton of early creatures,
Yes, it is.
It comes down
because
fast.
he does affect other things. You kind of leave them to the side.
Yeah, and the nice thing about mutate is even the cards that have mutate abilities, you don't necessarily have to pay their mutate cost to ever get that ability. You just have to put something else on it.
Yes.
So
he can
nice.
come down early and then be mutated onto to get the effect.
Yeah.
So he's a nice drop there.
Then we have Adorned Pouncer, another cat. This is like the most normal cat in here. It's a 2-mana 1/1 with double strike and it eternalizes for 5. Double strike is really nice if you put a bunch of mutate things on it.
Of course, you can, if it dies, you can pay 5 to make a 4/4 double striker, which is terrifying. But you can also mutate the other bigger things onto that, and they get the double strike.
Yep.
And it's very scary.
Yeah, because it is one of those abilities that gets included. I mean, they all sort of do, but now going to the 3s, we have Necropanther. So it mutates for 4, and whenever this creature mutates, return target creature with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So this is actually really nice for building up after you get 5-for-1 with a removal spell that has a bunch of mutate guys on it. Because that does feel really bad, but then if you have a Necropanther in your hand,
yes, you can
start turning those into creatures, which is
you can
kind of nice.
Start slowly buying back things. Yes.
Yeah. Lets you keep going, and you can also sort of cycle these. Like if you have enough of this effect in play, you can kind of just chump block with something, let it die, with
and then
the intent of having it die.
Yeah, the intent of having it die, and then because you're just going to mutate something else. To get an effect.
Exactly.
Also really nice for the Banehounds having haste,
Yes.
because if you mutate like this onto a Necropanther, then you get back the Banehound and then pump it, and then it attacks immediately.
Yeah. And the lifelink also is really nice for that, because sometimes when you're at those late stages in the game, your life total might be a little bit low. There's a lot of comes into play untapped for 2 lifelines.
Lands costing you...
Anyway, so then we're going to move to 4s. I know I have this 4 here as well, but
he's kind of
we'll go over him after because he does
kind of
pretty cool stuff. Yes. So we have Cub Warden. It's a 4-mana, and it also mutates for 4. Lifelink, and then whenever it mutates, you get 2 1/1 cat tokens with lifelink.
Play very nice with the bump effects.
Yes, definitely. Lifelink on a bunch of dudes can suddenly put you out of contention, which is pretty nice. And it itself is a 3/5, so it has the biggest butt out of all these butts.
And it's still lifelink as well.
And it still has lifelink, yeah. So a lot of life can be gained from a Cub Warden. Then we have Huntmaster Liger, or King Caesar, Ancient Guardian, if you're feeling nasty. This is, of course, a Godzilla version of a card,
And
but it is the same card and the comic book version, because why print one version of a brand new card when you can print 4 versions of the same card? But this one is a 3/4 that mutates for 3. It's pretty well the only one, I think, that's a pure cat. Oh no, Cupboard's also a pure cat. I stand corrected. But anyway, so whenever it mutates, other creatures you control get +X, where X is the number of times that you've mutated. So that can get pretty busted pretty quickly.
Yeah, so another pump effect for extra creatures.
Yeah, and basically it was a cat that had Mutate written on it, so it's in the deck. And then we're going to go to our giant man here, Snapdax, Apex of the Hunt. So this is kind of a weird mana cost. Costs red, white, black, and 1. And then its mutate is 2 colorless, a red, black hybrid, and 2 white. It's kind of strange cost.
Of course, a nightmare, or a dinosaur cat nightmare.
Yes, which is probably its best trait. But it's a 3/5 with double strike. And then whenever this creature mutates, it deals 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls, and you gain 4 life. So you can just start machine gunning down their board if you can dump mutates onto him.
You can mutate that 5, he gets stupid real fast.
And he also has double strike, so it...
Yes, even as a 4 drop to just put down a 3/5 with double strike is pretty good.
Pretty nutty. It is legendary, which... That's also kind of funny because the way Mutate works, as long as this isn't the top card, it's not legendary, so you actually can't have 2 of these in play at the same time.
That's silly.
It just, this one has to be disguised as something else, basically.
If he's part of the formula for another thing, then he's not a legendary.
Yeah, which is kind of neat. And kind of makes you wonder why make any of these legendary in the first place. Oh well.
To make the rules as complicated as possible.
Sure. Just more things to keep track of, I guess.
This, Time Spiral was too complicated, and then they put this set up.
Yeah.
Canyon and this.
God, yeah, right. Oh, man. Anyway, so then we have 4 Justiciar's Portal. This, if we were playing Modern, would be like an Ephemerate, probably, or Cloud Shift, but this is the best you can get for an instant.
Interacts very strangely, which is why it's in the deck.
Yes. So the way that this works, exile target creature you control, then return that creature, or return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. It gains first strike until end of turn. So if you have a big monster that has 4 mutate
3 or 4 mutate cards on it,
if you portal it, it removes all 4 of the things that are on it from the battlefield, and then they all return to the battlefield as separate entities.
They're all just creatures.
Yeah, so it's basically how you take some really weird DNA and just split it. You just decide to suddenly split it. And all the creatures that come back gain first strike, because they are coming back with this effect.
It can be split to deal the last points of damage when they think they only have 1 big threat, or it can suddenly be you block their whole army with a first strike wall.
Yeah. And if you look at the power and toughness of these guys, I mean, they're pretty beefy on their own, most of them. Have 3 power, so 3 power first strike.
And you give them first strike, they're... not trading in most cases.
Yeah, it's quite saucy. And of course, everyone assumes that you're going to get 5 for 1 by a removal spell. So, anytime you build up a giant thing, it's just begging to be removed.
Yeah.
So doing that in response, bad times for your opponents. So it's just a super fun interaction. So I had to include at least 1 card that looked like a magic card in this deck. And then we have some removal spells that I just picked ones that we had cool, alternate versions of.
Weird frames.
Yeah. So we have 2 cast down, destroy target non-legendary creature, instant, 2 mana. And 3 disfigures, target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn, instant as well, of course. These realistically, they should be probably better removal spells, like push or something.
Yeah, push.
A
Cast
braid
down is still pretty good, but
yeah.
But yeah, with everything has weird frames.
Yeah.
Had to go for that.
Almost.
Yeah.
So then lands, I'll just go over these quickly because there's nothing too crazy here. 3 Sacred Foundry, 4 Godless Shrine, 3 Blood Crypt, 2 Mountain, 3 Plains, 3 Swamp, 2 Savai Triome. These are kind of cool. It's a tri-land that you can fetch
Yes.
And it cycles for 3.
Always enters tapped, but it is 3 different lands, so hey.
Yeah. Strict upgrade to the actual tri-lands, I think. And then 3 Fabled Passage. So that is Mutant Cats. Doo-doo-doo-doo.